Guys, hello and welcome to the THQ podcast. So in this episode, what I'm going to be explaining is exactly how to make a diet plan. So my sort of belief and my vision and my goal to what I want to do with my videos or to help and inspire you guys, the THQ members, is for you to understand like bullshit. So there's so much crap out there that people say, right, so when the next latest thing comes out, everyone starts to follow. And I don't want THQ members to be able, even think about that. I want them to understand what's crap and what's not. And you just need to understand your basic principles and your basic habits. Once you understand that, once you've got that ability, then you know what, if you see the next craze, you never get sucked into what the next dieting craze is, because that is why people start to yo-yo. And the only way you can really sustain a body transformation is if you have a deep understanding of what you should actually be doing. And your diet isn't complicated. It isn't really complicated. You should eat 78% just plant-based foods, like nice quality decent foods, and then includes meats and fish. Drink plenty of water and you won't go far wrong. So just eating from the land, eating decent quality food is not going to be, that's all you really need to work on. So how to make a diet plan, just the facts. So it needs to include protein. You need to include, I would say on average, 1 gram per pound of body weight. Now there's research to show that you can just have 0.8 gram per pound of body weight. How you actually understand how much you should actually have for muscle mass and to build a strong lean body, the only way you'll be able to really fully understand that is to track calories. At some point you need to track calories. That's so important. So protein contains about 4 calories per gram. All you have to do is consist most meals of about 30 grams of protein. So can we absorb more or less? Yes, of course we can, but it's just a good indicator of saying, right, I'm going to have about 30 grams of protein, about a chicken breast or a turkey breast or a piece of white fish, or any sort of protein option, just one with each meal. It's going to help us feel full. Okay, so it helps with satiety. It helps us actually feel that we've actually eaten a decent amount of meal, a decent amount of food. So when we actually then try to make better decisions throughout the day, it becomes easier because we're fuller. And when you eat quality protein, you lose about 30% through digestion alone. So it's like if you're eating quality foods and you're losing a lot of it through digestion anyway, you're more than likely going to help you eat less calories and stay on track. So it makes sense to pick a protein option because it's going to help us perform better and feel better. In the next part, you should include carbohydrates, a decent amount. So there's 4 calories per gram. Again, you aim to have carbohydrates around your workout. That makes sense. Okay, so for me, I like to have them either before or after my workout. Keeping my carbohydrates around, I'm going to perform well, I'm going to recover well. So my meal should still have a protein option, but I include more carbs around my workouts. Again, in the evening as well, it helps release a little bit of serotonin, so it helps us relax as we go to sleep. So I always include carbohydrates later in my evening meal as well, especially on training days, because again that does help me relax. Sometimes you haven't earned the right to have that many carbs, so you'll as you start to track calories and the more experience, you know how much carbs you can handle. Sometimes I just judge it on myself now. Is like, if I feel a little bit irritable, then I've probably not had enough, because I've maybe trained a little bit too much and I could have done with a little bit more. If I start to feel a little bit too tired and a little bit too sluggish and a little bit of just you don't feel, you're a little bit bloated, maybe you've had a little bit too many carbohydrates. So that's just the way I look at it. So most of my meals will include that. How do you gain weight? So we don't really get asked this question a lot, but we do get asked a little bit of how to actually gain weight. So for me, trying to keep things as simple as possible, you might be one of the people that just do not sit still, move too much, and you struggle to actually eat enough calories because of how much you're actually moving about. Your body turns over quiet. You have got a faster metabolism, but your body, you've naturally got these habits of a lean person. So like what somebody who is overweight has to do, is make a conscious effort to move more. I would say, to keep it really simple, is try and make a conscious effort to move a little bit less, be less fidgeted, maybe just until you start to gain a little bit of weight and you get them better habits. Because for me to say no, just start to eat more, it's not in your natural ability to do that. So try and actually eat moving less is going to be good thing for you to do. If you do lots of cardio, limit cardio as much as you can. We do need to have a little bit of cardio in our routines and things like that, but generally, just if you're moving less and doing a little bit less just for now, it makes sense. Regarding your calories, you need to be eating at about 300 calorie surplus. So you don't need to be eating massive amounts of food. So like I would say eating more lower volume foods and higher calorie foods. So maybe including more fats, maybe a little bit of things like cheese, peanut butter, things that aren't actually that much food because you're not a naturally big eater. Have a lot more calories in, or maybe even a high calorie gainer shake. That makes a lot of sense. Lift as heavy as we possibly can. We need to give our body a reason to be big. So doing more high intensity work doesn't really make too much sense. So we can even adapt this into the THQ sessions. If you're in the THQ sessions and you want to start gaining a little bit of weight, look at the exercise that you're doing. Say you've got 45 seconds on the movement, break it down, as always, what we say to people anyway, break it down into 6 reps. Keep lifting heavy. You do 6 heavy reps, rest for a little bit, 6 heavy reps. Prioritize some more strength training work. This is all going to help if you want to gain weight on a diet plan. So we're going to talk about fat as well. So fat's 9 calories per gram. So this is why we need to aim to have more fat in moderation. Okay, so things I explained then, so things like cheeses or peanut butter. So let's say like a spoonful of peanut butter, you could literally dip your spoon into the peanut butter 5 times and get a different calorie amount every single time. That's how easy it is to overeat on foods that have more fats in them. So I would say always understand tracking, start to track calories. If you want to include more fats into your diet, you have to really track calories and understand that it's more moderation to bring it down. But we do need fat in our diet because hormones rely on us to have fat in our diet. We have a lot of essential fatty acids that we need to our brain to function. So many different things. We need to include good amounts of fat. But I would generally say, as a rule of thumb, for your daily disciplined habits, then have fat in moderation. Unless you're following a specific high-fat diet, like a keto diet or something, I would suggest you have it in moderation, because over the course of your 7 days, when you start to be more flexible, like eating out, having the takeaway, having a more relaxed meal, it's 9 times out of 10 got more fat in it. So when you look at the course of the 7 days, it makes sense for your daily disciplined habits to be more lower fat, and it gives you a little bit more security for that meals out and things like that. You need to be including equal amounts of each, so plenty of protein, plenty of fats, plenty of less fats and plenty of carbohydrates, plenty of fibre in your meal. So your meals should generally look like a nice bit of protein, meats or fish, some nice decent vegetables for your fibre, and then maybe a carb choice 2 meals out of the 4. You could have maybe rice, potatoes, sweet potato, any sort of really, it's not really, just don't demonize things, don't demonize bread or anything like that. It's finding a carb choice that works for you and sticking to it as well. Sit down and eat meals. I've said this a million times and I will continue to say it. You will find it very, very hard to get in shape if you're a snacker. You can have snacks in between meals. You can have snacks towards the end of the day if you've eaten quite a lot of calories. But prioritizing sitting down, eating meals of the food choices I've just said is not going to go far wrong, and it'll stop you getting sucked into whatever the latest craze is. So vegetables, lean meats or fish, carb choices, and that should be a regular in a lot of your meals day to day. Not hard at all. We need to create a good relationship with food first of all. So that should be our main priority. Creating a good relationship with food. For me, a good relationship to food is sitting down, eating meals and not snacking. That works so well for me. I'm a natural person with crap instinctual habits. Like I could easily eat my way into obesity very quickly because I've not got naturally good habits. So I have to be a little bit obsessed with making sure that I prepare my food, sit down and eat meals majority of the time. Not 7 days a week, but majority of the time. And that overcomes my natural urge to eat rubbish, because I haven't got a natural lean person's habits. I have to work for it, and keeping that daily discipline is vital. So once you have a good relationship with food, then at some point you need to track calories. You need to have an understanding of how many calories are in certain foods, so that you can actually you'll be able to, I can look at 2,000 calories now. I know what 2,000 calories looks like. I really know what 2,000 calories look like, because trust me, in my 10 years experience, so many people generally say to me, like, oh, I'd never eat 2,000 calories. And then I look at the diet and I'm like, shit, you're probably eating like 3,500, 4,000 calories a day without even realizing. But as soon as we get to track calories and they actually realize what's actually in things, that's the only way to really actually learn. And you think, right, well, I've learned how many calories are in things, and then you can go forward. So you need to track calories at some point. So for this podcast, again, there's so many things I wouldn't suggest, especially if you're a THQ member, do not take this model and let us work out your calories for you. But if anyone's a non-member listening to it, generally, body weight in pounds times 12 is good for fat loss. It's a little bit of a deficit, not too much, not too aggressive. And for maintenance, body weight times 15. Do I think that would just generally just work for the average person? Probably give you a good way to start. But as THQ members, if you want us to be a little bit more, you want us to work out a little bit better, then just drop us an email and we'll do it for you. Because men, women, that's going to affect the calorie intake, your job roles, your training ability. There's so many things that's going to sort of affect it. So for us to give you an accurate answer as THQ members, drop us a message. But I'm sure if you have done the shoot or whatever, you will you'll know how to track calories for now. So the recommended food list for this podcast. So if you generally eat these types of foods, now the food list that I'm saying is not gospel. Like, if you literally deviate from any other foods, then it doesn't mean you're failing. But including these types of foods in your diet is going to give you the best chance of survival in this body transformation and not failing. So protein options: beef steak, lean mince, turkey breast, chicken, cod, haddock, scallops, whey protein. They should be enough really for your protein choices. To keep it really simple, fats, you could have eggs, coconut oil, olive oil, nuts, but you need to understand moderation. Like for nuts, for example, like 10 nuts compared to like 15 is a big calorie jump compared to 20 nuts. But you actually look at that in your hand and how much is actually there, doesn't really make, like, it looks like nothing. And this is where people go wrong, because that could be your 200 calorie deficit for the day gone if you just grabbing handfuls of nuts and things like that. So carbohydrates: sweet potato, white potato, brown rice, white rice, jasmine rice. That it makes sense to include quality carb sources like that around your workout. And then I try to spice my meals up, so like sea salt, black pepper, paprika, basil, things like that. Just garlic, lemon, just makes it nice. It's quite a low calorie way of making your food taste nice. Then you need to include your greens with every single meal. So broccoli, asparagus, kale, spinach, green beans, cabbage. Make sure, as well as your mixed vegetables, pile that plate up, get quality fibre into your body, and you're not going to go far wrong, and you're not going to get sucked in to the latest fad. Caffeine: I would avoid caffeine from 4 p.m. if you don't do nights or anything like that. I would avoid caffeine from 4 p.m. because it will affect your sleep. It's got about a 6-hour life, so it will take a long time to get out of your body. So I would definitely avoid it from 4 p.m. onwards. Diet drinks contain about 80 milligram of caffeine. Coffee contains about 250 milligram. Diet Coke and things like that, like not energy drinks, like Diet Coke and stuff like that contain 40 milligram. Diet drinks, what I meant before, was like Monsters and energy drinks, things like that, contain about 80 milligram. And a cup of tea is about 35 milligrams. So you should be aiming to have probably about 300 milligram, no more than that a day, I would say. And you probably don't even need that much really. You could have a little bit more maybe, but that will be a good rule of thumb for you to start with your caffeine intake. Definitely don't be having caffeine all the time just randomly, because caffeine can be a very powerful tool as well for your body transformation, but if you become too dependent on it, There's a lot of factors that can affect like your cortisol levels and everything. I won't get into it. I'm going to keep this diet plan very simple, but I would personally just not have loads and loads of caffeine. Time it around your workout, makes sense. Talking about timings, like meal timings, yes, it makes sense to definitely eat around your workout, like definitely does. So even if you train early in the morning, at least a little bit of fruit around your workout, generally feel full, but just be consistent. If you're consistent with preparing food, sitting down, eating meals, having better quality food choices, you will be pretty much full majority of the time, pretty much ready to train whenever you feel like it. Like you're not going to get to a workout having not eaten. If you stay with your disciplined habits, eating when you're hungry, filling yourself up, decent quality food, then meal timings is less important. We can get really into in depth of like protein timing and things like that, and it's been proven, it's been disproven to be better for muscle gain or fat gain or whatever. But at the end of the day, just stick to your disciplined habits, eat when you can, prepare your food, have decent food on you majority of the time, and you won't go far wrong. That is really the simplest way I can explain it to you. Don't demonize things. Do not demonize sugar. Do not demonize alcohol. Your diet as a whole and your daily habits and your daily disciplines is to blame for you not being in shape, right? That's the reality. So we shouldn't demonize anything, but we have to have that discipline, right? We have to have that discipline in what we're doing and making sure that we're making actual steps to make progression every single time. And you shouldn't cut things out, and you shouldn't obviously be, oh fuck it, life's too short, I need to have chocolate and chips and crisps all the time. Life's too short to feel like crap, so have that discipline. But don't demonize anything. Eat quality, decent foods. Try to have things in moderation. If you have trigger things, if you have a trigger point, like me personally, I just can't eat chocolate. Like, to be honest, I would rather have more calories from 2 protein bars than I would to have one bit of chocolate like a Milky Way or a Freddo or something that's like not a lot less calories, right? Because it's my discipline. Like I know that that's gonna go into my protein intake. I don't feel like I'm sort of going off track with my diet. It gives me that sugar fix and it gives me that mental focus of what I'm doing. And so yeah, so you have to avoid these trigger things. Like if I was to include chocolate in my majority of my day, then I'll probably include that little bit, oh, I can't be asked to make my dinner, I'll just have a sandwich, and my daily discipline all goes. So you've got to make sure that what is your trigger food and what isn't. And talk about being addicted to sugar. You're not really addicted to sugar. I would say you're more addicted to that endorphin hit. So that instant hit of having something, feeling good, right, and then you move on, but then you slowly start to feel crap, and then you start to crave, you think you're craving that sugar hit. Well, in reality, you're probably having sugar in loads of other things, but it's more that endorphin hit that you're craving. So taking that out and making sure that you have that discipline of eating decent foods is going to be the big win for you. All you need to worry about for body transformation, for how you feel, how you function, for health and everything is how many calories you're actually consuming and making sure you're not getting too much body fat. Hitting your protein intake, making that a priority of hitting your protein intake each and every day, it's going to build a lean, strong body, and your carbs and fats just become choices that you more enjoy. So if you, again, but you have to remember you have to eat less fats and you can have more carbohydrates, but if your calories are created equal, you're not going to be having too much of either because you're going to be hitting your overall calories, and that's all that really matters. Quality water, 2 to 4 litres a day of decent quality water, I would say matters for you to stick to the plan, for you to feel full, for you to feel energized, and for you to perform better, so you have less muscle cramps, less muscle fatigue in your sessions. So quality water included into your diet each and every day. Opting for a 2 litre bottle of water, going to the shop, making sure you've got it, don't rely on going to the tap, is a very good habit to put in. Okay guys, that concludes the end of this podcast. I hope you found it helpful. Again, my mission is to make sure you understand what to do and you can detect bullshit and you don't ever get sucked into a latest craze or the latest facts that come out. You know that you just have to keep to your basic disciplined habits, and that's all it's going to take. Again, if there's anything I can help you with, guys, click the link below, ask me a question, comment, anything you want me to answer, I'll be happy to answer. Have a fantastic day, take care, and I'll see you all in the sessions very soon.